Hello guys, today I'm at Coreen State Forest, which is a forest between Maireana and Chlorella in the Riverina. I'm just taking a look around, showing you guys what I do when I come out and visit these places when I'm looking at my plants. So you can see, pretty nice little forest. It's used for Cypress pine plantations, obviously. I've got the little bands on all of these cypress pines, so don't know how long it's been used for or when was the last time they actually used it, but not a bad forest. Yeah, so we'll go have a look. There's heaps of eastern rosellas, white-winged choughs and apostle birds flying around, so you might hear them, but I walked past that tree over there before and the choughs weren't too happy with me, so we'll go have a look. Right, first up, I reckon we'll go take a look at the trees here, figure out what type of plant community we're in. So yeah, just take a look at what the eucalypts are, and yeah. So first up, we're just taking a look at this big eucalypt here. So very nice tree, and it's got a brother just there. So the leaves are a bit close to the ground, so we'll go have a look. So first thing you want to do when you're looking at a eucalypt generally is look at the bark type. So if we go have a look at this, we've got this nice fibrous bark. Yeah, if you can see that. So it comes off in small little chunks like that. There's four main types of eucalypts, so, and you can kind of, or out here anyway, so you can kind of group them by bark type. So these ones are called boxes. They've got bark like this. Yeah, and you'll come to learn what they all are when you have a look. But the other ones are smooth bark ones. They're called gums. You got stringy barks as well, which peel off in long strips. So they're a bit more fibrous than our box tree here. And you've also got iron bark. So you probably know what they look like if you drove past them. But they're one type of iron bark out here, mugger iron bark. Probably none here. It likes the hills and rocky stuff a bit more. But that's, yeah, big black bark, which is, yeah, really deeply furrowed. So it's called iron bark because it's really hard wood. So I couldn't actually find any buds on the sister tree over there. So we're at the big mama. So when you're looking at eucalypts, leaves are a good thing to start with as well. So this one is actually a grey box, and the leaves are pretty important when identifying it because it's got a very closely related species called white box, which is Eucalyptus albans. And yeah, one of the distinguishing features is the colour of the leaves. So this one here, grey box, nice dark green leaves. Generally it's pretty narrow, like I think, I'm not too sure how wide it is, but you can see here. Yeah, so it's about 3 centimetres wide. So I think that's in the width of the actual grey box. So sometimes it's a bit variable. I found they yeah, it can be narrow but can be wide as well, especially when they're growing close to white box. So you can get anything. Yeah, so we've also got some buds here. They're what happens to the flowers once they get pollinated and they turn into these things called gum nuts, or yeah, their technical name is called the fruits. Grey box, you can see the little opening there. Try and get that in focus. The valves, which is the stuff inside the opening, they actually sit a bit below the rim level, so another good thing when you're trying to identify grey box. So yeah, I don't know if we've get any actual flower buds. Probably a bit too late for this one. So we'll just work with leaves and the nuts, but yeah, pretty happy with that being Eucalyptus microcarpa grey box. We've got some cool Goodenias growing here. So little shortened ground cover, pretty sparse, mostly grassy. I'm just walking through and notice all these little yellow flowers. So that's these little guys here called Goodenia. But I don't think I've actually seen this species. So I've usually seen it with leaves that are quite broad and variously grooved along the side. But this one looks like kind of, yeah, very narrow leaves. So, pretty cool. Growing to about 10 centimetres tall. And some of these flower heads as well, like kind of got a little almost panicle structure. So I'm going to take a few photos of these Goodenias. It's kind of what I do, put them all in iNaturalist most of the time, but when you're taking photos of plants, a couple of good things to kind of look out for is, yeah, you want to get photos of pretty much everything. Like a photo of just a plant isn't really going to cut it, just because, you know, with Goodenia, there's a lot of species, probably, I don't actually know, but yeah, you want to try and get as many features as you can, so when you're identifying it a bit later, makes it a bit easier if you can know what the leaves were and what the flowers were. So yeah, one thing you want to get definitely is the flower, so I always bring my ruler too, and you can kind of get a photo of how big the flower head is. You want to get photos of the overall structure of the plant, so you're looking at, yeah, how tall it is, the growth form, and then you want to get photos of the leaves as well. And also some good, like, minute things is to note if the plant is hairy or if it's fully smooth. Like, that's sometimes a good factor to look out for. And you also want to get photos of the fruits as well. Yeah. So I find the best way to take good plant photos is to actually pull a whole plant out and have it up against the sun as a backdrop. That's what Harry Rose recommends, and that's what I've been doing, and they turn out to be pretty good photos. But you just got to be careful because you don't want to be impacting the environment too much by pulling out plants you see. So yeah, the general rule I go by is that if I know the plant and I know that it's reasonably widespread, then I can take it out of the ground and, yeah, take a photo of it, the whole plant, so like that. I'll just pull that out of the ground. And I've also seen that it's kind of everywhere around this area, so one plant won't hurt. But if I haven't seen a plant before and I've got a suspicion that it maybe, you know, it could be threatened, like, I'll just leave it in the ground, take photos of it in place instead. But I know Goodenias and there's no threatened ones out here, so I'm pretty confident that I can take this one out and take a photo of it. And yeah, I'll show you how I do it. Like this, the sun's behind me, so you kind of want to stand facing away from the sun, because then you get the best light. If you did it like that, you're just going to get glare from all the sunlight in the camera. So what I do is just hold up with the blue backdrop and then, yeah, take a few photos like that. Zoom in on a few. Generally it turns out pretty good quality. That looks pretty good like that. Okay, moving on. I'm trying to keep it interesting, so I won't stand point out all the ground covers yet, because we're just pretty much looking at grasses, which I love. Massive grass person, so I could stay here in one spot for about an hour just looking at all the different things on the ground. But I've just noticed over here there's a few shrubs which might be interesting for everyone who's not interested in grasses like me. Oh, whoops. And we're going to have a look at some cypress pines as well. Well, I gotcha. Safety is a big thing when you're out here too, so I don't actually have my snake bandage today, but really important to have that when you can, because, you know, it's pretty isolated out here. Seen a couple of cars drive past, but you'd be in trouble if you got bitten by a snake, so yeah, good to just have that stuff. Sunscreen, I've just put some on, so Very important because you don't want to get sunburnt, obviously. Got some Rolypoly. No, Sclerolaena muricata, this one. There's it's part of the saltbush family, so the chenopod. Sclerolaenas are nice and easy to tell apart from the rest because of their spines. These are, well, the spines on the fruits really, they don't actually go from the plant itself, but they have, in between each of these leaves, they have a little fruiting body. So, and the fruiting body contains spines. So, different Sclerolaenas have different spine lengths, spine arrangements and everything. But the thing with Sclerolaena muricata is that it has flat leaves. So there's two species of Sclerolaenas that have flat leaves out here, which is galvanised burr, which is Sclerolaena birchi, and this one, Rolypoly, so Sclerolaena muricata. The other ones have cylindrical leaves, but these ones are flat. And the way you tell apart the two species is that on top, the top side of the leaves of Sclerolaena muricata, they're hairless. You can just see out there that the hairs are growing on the outside of leaves, but on the actual surface itself, it's not. The underside, I don't even know. Let's have a look. See if we can get into focus. So, yeah, hairy there. But the thing is that the top side of the leaves are hairless, so pretty cool little plant. Go back to that. It just grows like a low bush, so it's called a roly-poly because when it gets real dry and everything else dies, these kind of snap off and the wind blows them across the ground and they roll across the ground like in the same sort of form they're in. Sometimes they're in a bit more ball shaped. Berry saltbush here, I think. So Atriplex semi-baccata. Another one of these. Oh no, look at that. Atriplex spinibractea, I think. There you go. I don't know if you can see that little fruit thing here, which my finger is just touching there. Get it more in the sun for you. But it's got that little fruiting berry. Oh, fuck's sake. It's got spines on it. Let's have a look. Okay. Jeez, these freaking shadows are annoying. There you go, little spines on the other side, so that's what I reckon it would be. I'm pretty sure it's Atriplex spinibractea is the scientific name for it. But it looks very close to berry saltbush, which is, it's supposed to be more common, but I'll say a bit of both. Another one of these saltbushes, so same family as the Sclerolaenas, the roly-poly, which we saw before. Can eat the leaves. Can eat the leaves of the berry of Atriplex semi-baccata. Don't know about this one, but probably. Cool little plant. Just a little low forb, so growing about 20 centimetres high on the ground. Pretty common. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go have a look at these shrubs. The Atriplex could also be Atriplex suberecta. That's another one I see, so... Well, yeah. The thing about botany is, to be a good botanist, you don't need to know every plant. That's where I am at this stage anyway. Like, you don't need to know every plant off by heart as soon as you see it. The thing about being a good botanist is to be able to know what to look out for, to distinguish between species. So that's just doing research before and looking at different genuses and everything like that and seeing what the differences between each species are. So you don't need to actually know the species when you first start out, but to be able to know what to take photos of. So with that one, I've just taken photos of all the leaves, the fruiting bodies, so with the little spines on either side, the form and everything. I didn't take any ruler photos because I know that's not a huge difference with Atriplex, especially the ones that we're looking at now. But yeah, taking good solid photos and getting as much info as you can, so when you go back to your books, when you get back to your place, then you can determine which species you were looking at. So that's what I consider good botany, rather than knowing everything off by heart. Well, I wasn't expecting this, that's pretty safe to say, but those shrubs that I was walking towards, they all turned out to be Hakeas, which I very rarely see, especially in grey box white cypress pine woodland like we're in. I've never seen Hakea in this type of woodland, but you can see it's just a low growing shrub. That must be it just generating up, and then it's also these small trees as well. So show you what the leaves look like. Pretty cool little plant. So we're looking at just these straight cylindrical leaves. So the shape of them's in a cylinder. Not sure if they're hollow or not on the inside. And they end in a little hooked point. So at the tip of the leaves, if you can. Oh, jeez. Yeah, if you can make that out, my finger there. So there's two species of Hakea out here. Hakea linifolia and Hakea tephrosperma or something. So, and the difference is in the tip of the leaves, I believe. So now I'm going to take photos with the ruler of the leaves, get some good photos of the tip of them as well. I've just had a look around, but I can't see any fruit or flowers on any of these, unfortunately. So we'll just have to be leaves that we're working with, and we'll just note the general growth form and everything. So yeah, but very cool to see Hakeas out here. Cool plant. So I've just had a look around at some of the bigger Hakeas I've seen, and I've just found some fruit. All the hardened kind of nuts of the Hakea. So that's what they look like. Jeez, I'll get a better look here. There you go. So here we go. We're looking at one of the cypress pines now. Scientific name Callitris glaucophylla. Glaucophylla means, or glaucus means white and waxy, and phylla means leaves. So I'll go show you how sometimes the scientific names are actually pretty handy. So if you look at these leaves, they're got this white sort of glaucusy, waxy, grey covering, which is where it gets its name compared to the other species, which the one out here anyway, Callitris enlicheri, which grows in steeper areas, a bit more rocky, shallower soils. Oh, it just bit my foot. But it has dark green leaves. So this is the cones of the cypress pine. So it's one of the few remaining, what is it? I think they're gymnosperms in Australia. Little cone there. But it doesn't flower, unlike 95% of the plants in Australia. Anyway, they use cypress pine for timber. Planted them heaps back in the day. See a lot of state forests that they use for pine plantations, native to Australia, by the way. But yeah, it grows nice and straight, so pretty valuable timber product. And the birds love it, especially grey crown babblers. They always make their nests in the white cypress pine, so look out for them if you're ever in one of these places. I haven't seen any today, but one of my favourite grasses just here, which is Aristida behriana, one of the wiregrasses, but it's just so different to the rest of them, which have a kind of more open flower head. Unlike this, it's just so compact, and the individual flower heads are so long, which you can see here. So yeah, one of my favourites. I've only seen it before in grey box woodland out at Henty. So this is the second time I've seen it. I spoke too soon. Here's some grey crown babblers right on cue. Hopefully they do their call. It's pretty cool. Just flew off, but sound like monkeys to me. They're so cool. Here's the flower of the Aristida behriana. That'll come into focus. But it's got 3 very long horns arising from the top of a column, and then the little floret there as well. Little lemma, sorry. Yeah, the babbler's going off. New South Wales threatened species, by the way, too. So we've got Vittadinia gracilis here. Type of daisy. I don't know, the common name's something fuzzweed, I believe. But there's a couple of common ones. This being one of them. Not so common as Vittadinia cuneata, which you'll see quite often. It looks very similar, except the leaves of this one have a white woolly covering, which you can see there. So, and it kind of gives the appearance of, it's got a bit of white fuzz covering the whole plant. There you go, there's the purple flower. There are the achenes, which fly off, wind pollinate, spread by wind. Yeah, so Vittadinia gracilis. Nice plant. Right next to it, we've got a enchylaenoides. Oh, Maireana, actually. Maireana enchylaenoides. So, another type of saltbush. Don't know if you can... Oh, there we go. There's a little fruiting thing that I like to see. It's got 2 red spikes coming out of it. Just up the top there. So they're the little fruits, and nice little plant too. Relatively common. It's never wide. It's never like abundant anywhere I see it, but it's generally around. So here we've got Chloris, so Windmill Grass. You can tell it's Chloris. The scientific name is Chloris truncata because of the. Maybe I'll flip it around. So you can tell it's Chloris truncata because truncata refers to these little lemmas, so the black things. And they've got a truncate top, so it just kind of stops in a flat line. But it's called a windmill grass because look at this. Because it grows in a windmill type shape. Quite a cool little grass, Very common. Loves disturbed areas as well, so when they made this road, it would have all popped up along here because it likes the bare soils to germinate. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Snake tracks in the sand, so just good to keep an eye out when you're walking around. They get distracted real easy. If I look into plants, I always forget to look out for snakes, so don't forget that. Alright, got to drive on through to Coreen now, so that'll do for me. But I'll just show you a few more plants while we're here. Just at this last little spot. So we've got some speargrass, Cypress scabra. So that's that one growing there. So you can tell what it is by these kind of curled awns that they've got coming out of their little spears. So I'll try to hang on to this. But that's them. The end of this speared awn. Callitris, a daisy. So another one of these species that likes disturbance, I guess. So it's pretty common. You'd expect it to be here in a state forest like this, where the ground's, you know, disturbed every now and then when they chop down the pines. It's a little bright green daisy. It's called a Burr-daisy because the flowers, when they get pollinated, turn into these tiny spiky burrs. There you go, stuck to my finger. We've also got, I'll show you. Oh, where was I looking? Oh, I've lost it, but anyway, there's a plains grass around here somewhere. Here's all the wallaby grass. So that's this grass here. Grows in these short little tufts. It's called wallaby grass because I reckon the flowers look like little faces of wallabies. So here we go. So in our flower head, they've got little individual flowers which you take out to distinguish between the species. Okay, I've just... You can... not a great look at it, but probably short or long-horned wallaby grass, I'd say, which is Riverina cetaceum. Just from the short size of it and the relatively long horns on it, so I'll just drop that there. And then the leaves of this species are, where are we looking? Oh, come around the other side to get the sun. Leaves of this species are quite blue and quite hairy as well. Yeah. That'll do. Off to Cora. So that's just a tiny sample of species today. Generally I would just stay at this place for 2 hours and take photos of everything I've seen, but I want to get going. But yeah, I don't know, never made a video before, so I don't know if I'll be fucked to make one again. Maybe I can do some more species and try and see some more things, but at this stage that's just a sample of what I do when I'm out taking photos of plants. Cedar, corrugated cedar, nice yellow flowers. Yeah, nice place. The eastern roselle, well, the noisy miners kind of took over once I got here, but there we go, the galahs are over there. Yeah.